Welcome, everyone. Today we will embark on a journey to explore the connection between popular culture and intercultural communication. I'm Carson Ward, and in this presentation, I will refer to Chapter 9 of our textbook, focusing on the influence of popular culture and intercultural communication. We will discuss local and global examples of popular culture and intercommunication mentioned within Chapter 9. In addition, we will focus on the current Matt Rife situation that is occurring. As we navigate through this interesting topic, I invite you to reflect on how popular culture shapes your perceptions, behaviors, and intercultural interactions. We shall begin by unveiling the impact of popular culture and its impact on society. From the definition of popular culture to its significance in both local and global contexts, we aim to understand how this dynamic force influences societal norms and trends. The complexity of popular culture is often overlooked. It is large in America and influences us more than we might imagine. The book defines popular culture as ever-present cultural products designed for profitable consumption. Almost everyone in the social group knows about it, and it consists of mainstream movies, music, television, and romance novels. The origin of popular culture comes from differing between high culture and low cultures. In recent decades, scholars constructed a new conceptual framework arguing for the legitimacy of other cultural groups that traditionally would be labeled as low culture. This new framework is popular culture. However, due to elitist view on distinction of culture between low context and high culture, popular culture still classifies as low culture. The book states, "It is difficult to avoid popular culture." This quote proves true since popular culture surrounds everyone, hence it is not illogical to assume that intercultural communication is at play within popular culture. In many instances, popular culture is the first form of intercultural communication that someone may be exposed to in their life, especially living here in America. The book mentions four significant characteristics of popular culture. The first characteristic is that it is produced by cultural industries. Secondly, it is different than folk culture, where folk culture is more through tradition, reasons, and popular culture does what it does for financial gain. The third characteristic is that it is everywhere around us. And lastly, it fills a social function. For example, listening to music or watching a show or movie. These four characteristics allow for one to identify popular culture and also understand the uniqueness of this culture. This leads us on to the Chapter 9 insights. As we dive deeper into Chapter 9, we encounter key terms and ideas that provide insights into the relationship between popular culture and intercultural communication. By identifying these concepts, we are able to grasp a more comprehensive understanding of the Matt Rife situation. The following terms are key terms found within Chapter 9 to help better understand popular culture and intercultural communication. Popular culture is defined as a new name for low culture, referring to those cultural products that most people share and know about, including television, music, videos, and popular magazines. Next is high culture. While the book does not highlight this as a key term, I believe it is one. The book defines high culture as an elite, aristocratic expression of culture. An example of this would be the opera, as mentioned above. This is basically the opposite of popular culture. Low culture. This is also not highlighted in the book as a key term, but I believe it is one. This is the concept of a form of popular culture that has mass appeal. Unlike high culture, it targets middle to low class people. So basically, it is pop culture. This leads on to folk culture, which is the traditional and non-mainstream cultural activities that are not financially driven. Some examples of this is the throwing of the tortilla at tech football games or folk music. To not confuse this with popular culture, folk culture follows tradition rather than financial gain. Cultural text. Cultural text, according to the book, are popular culture messages, whether television shows, movies, advertisement, or other widely disseminated messages. Cultural industries, those are industries that produce and sell popular culture as commodities. A great example of this mentioned by the book is Disney. This goes on to encoding, which everyone should already know by now. However, I will still define it. It is the process of creating a message for others to understand. And decoding would be the process of interpreting the message. And this leads on to other terms that are in the book that are key terms. However, these three are fears regarding popular culture, and in addition, they're the topics of many discussions regarding popular culture. To start, the first one is media imperialism, which is domination or control through media. Second is electronic colonization, which is dominating or expoliation utilizing technological forms. And lastly, cultural imperialism, which is the domination through the spread of cultural products. Now that we understand some key concepts found within Chapter 9, our journey takes a turn as we explore the connections between current popular culture and the content covered in Chapter 9. We analyze how popular culture aligns with and expands upon the intercultural communication concepts presented in this chapter, creating a bridge between theory and reality. Popular culture can influence society in both local and global contexts. A local example mentioned in the book was Beyonce's Super Bowl performance. This is an example of how popular culture was involved in a great deal of intercultural communication. The book mentions that her video reached a very large audience with different interpretations. Saturday Night Live did a bit over the situations, politicians spoke out negatively, and police officers threatened to boycott not only the Super Bowl but Beyonce's future concerts entirely, not only as viewers but as workers. However, despite the amount of negative backlash that she received, the amount of attention brought from popular culture allowed Beyonce's single to quickly become the number one song at the time, allowing Beyonce to make a ton of money, thus showcasing how popular culture and the media can influence society and stir up emotions. Another example of popular culture influencing society mentioned in the book, yet in a global scale, was the release of Captain America. They released this film in many other countries besides just America, yet it was largely patriotic towards America. To not offend other cultures and increase sales in other countries, Disney offered an alternative name. While only 3 countries chose to air the film under this name, the First Avenger, and one of those was Russia, which this in Russian translates to the First Avenger, which I even looked that up to make sure. Uh, Sorry, I lost myself. But yeah, I looked to make sure that that translated to the First Avenger, and Russia, South Korea, and Ukraine were the 3 countries that aired this under this title, the First Avenger. The intercultural communication that occurred allowed for the popular culture in the U.S. to spread across the world. This allows for popular culture to give non-Americans a chance to see how Americans might interact and what they enjoy to view or pass time. The same occurs for us Americans whenever a movie or TV show references another country's culture. This puts ideas into our heads regarding the other culture despite the honesty of it. Hence, it is through popular culture that we are able to grasp the dynamics of other cultures and nations. Now let's turn our attention to a current situation involving popular culture and intercultural communication. Comedian Matt Rife, who is here in the middle, has been receiving major backlash regarding his opening joke in his special on Netflix titled Natural Selection. While he encoded his message to be funny, his audience decoded the message as insulting. The special premiered in the top 10 and has continued to reign in that category despite major backlash from popular culture. Rife responded to the negative comments by posting an Instagram story containing a link that says tap to solve your issues. However, once the link is clicked, the user is brought to a shopping web page similar to this. And the items that are being sold are special needs helmets. Not only did his original joke upset popular culture, but this upset them even more because not only was he disrespecting domestic violence victims, but also mentally disabled people as well. He even then later went on Jordan Roberts' podcast in order to gain more attention and boost sales. While on the podcast, he does not seem unapologetic at all. Although he seems to be fighting popular culture, He has also been very blessed by popular culture. Popular culture arguably gave Matt his career. Without it, he would not be seeing the success he is. TikTok even helped him gain a large following, most of whom are a part of popular culture. However, his fight against popular culture may not be his demise, since has allowed him to become more known and increase sales yet again. He is in the spotlight, getting all this attention thanks to popular culture. However, he has also lost a large amount of his previous following due to popular culture's decoding of the message and Rive's blatant refusal for an apology. While the situation is ongoing, it is interesting to see the intercultural communication by popular culture online influencing all of society and their viewpoint on Matt Rife. I believe Matt Rife will eventually lose the battle against popular culture because nobody can ever beat popular culture in the media, and he will soon be forgotten about. And due to popular culture and its fast paced changes, one may be loved today and then be hated tomorrow, and then nobody even remembers them the next day. So that's how I see this whole situation panning out. He'll have his fame and all the attention for a bit, but eventually popular culture will just move on. Sorry, I just totally forgot. Totally went blank for a second. Sorry about that. But eventually popular culture will just move on, and so will the rest of the world. Um, Reflecting on intercultural communication through popular culture, as we reach the conclusion of our presentation, let's take a moment to reflect on the key insights we've discussed. From the definition of popular culture to its real-world impact on intercultural communication to the current Matt Rife situation, together we have embarked on a journey that shows popular culture and intercommunication and how they can connect, the key terms mentioned in Chapter 9, the four key characteristics to spot popular culture, and we listed three examples: Beyonce, Captain America, and Matt Rife, that all show how popular culture and intercultural communication can have an influence on society. However, before I end things, I'd like to invite you to engage in a quick discussion. How old were you when you first discovered popular culture for the first time? And then additionally, are you a fan or are you against popular culture here in America? For example, my father hates TVs and he hates that we watch TV. So as soon as we moved out of the house, he got rid of all his TVs and he does not have a TV in his house anymore. Or another example is like uh, something political happens on your favorite TV show, or an actor does something, you refuse to watch anything with the actor in it or that TV show. So, do you agree with popular culture most of the time, or are you against it most of the time? Is really what I'm asking. But that is all. Thank you for your time, and here are my references. Enjoy.